Let's be honest for a second. If you've scrolled through any social media platform lately, you'd think Belly Conklin from The Summer I Turned Pretty was a national menace. The critiques have become a firestorm, and amidst the shipping wars and character takedowns, one thing is glaringly obvious: we've stopped critiquing a show and started attacking a reflection of ourselves. The intense discourse isn't just about a fictional love triangle, it's about the raw, uncomfortable, and painfully familiar truths the show forces us to confront about our own messy lives. Art is supposed to be critiqued, yes. But the vitriol aimed at these characters feels different. It's deeply personal. People are projecting their own heartbreaks, their own insecurities, and their own youthful mistakes onto Belly, Conrad, and Jeremiah. The reason this show is so polarizing isn't because it's bad television, it's because, in the most cringy and gut-wrenching way, it feels like looking in a mirror. And we don't always like what we see. The most common cry is, how could she get between two brothers? But maybe we should rephrase that. How could two brothers, fully aware of their complex history, consciously put a girl they both claimed to love in the middle of their lifelong rivalry? Conrad sent mixed signals that could give you emotional whiplash, while Jeremiah pursued Belly when she was at her most vulnerable, reeling from her first real heartbreak. Belly isn't the mastermind villain here, she's a teenage girl navigating a storm created by two boys who made their own questionable choices. Her relationship with Jeremiah wasn't some manipulative ploy. Let's not forget, she saw him as her best friend, her rock. After Conrad's emotional disappearing act, Jeremiah was the one who showed up. He offered stability, laughter, and a safe harbor. For a girl drowning in uncertainty, that's not just attractive, it's everything. Was it a mistake to fall for that safety? Perhaps. But it wasn't malicious. Their love was real, they built a life together for 4 years. They grew up together. When Conrad was gone, it was easy for Belly to believe her feelings had faded. She made a choice based on the love and security that was right in front of her, a choice so many of us would make in the same position. And when she realized her heart was still tangled up with Conrad, what did she do? She didn't play games. She was honest with Jeremiah. She removed herself from the mess by going to Paris, seeking clarity and giving everyone space to breathe. She waited until the brothers found their own peace before she even answered Conrad. That isn't the action of a villain. That's growth. Now, let's talk about the Fisher boys, because multiple things can be true at once. Jeremiah could be insecure and immature, and yes, he cheated, but that doesn't erase the genuine love he had for Belly. He was her person when no one else was. Their relationship wasn't fake, it just wasn't forever. To understand Jeremiah, you have to look at the environment that forged him. The Fisher boys were pitted against each other from the start, competing for their father's approval and their mother's attention. When Conrad iced him out during Susanna's illness, it didn't matter if the intention was protective, the result was pure pain. Jeremiah's flaws aren't excusable, but they are deeply human and painfully explainable. He was a boy starved for affection, terrified of being second best one more time. Then there's Conrad, the walking embodiment of silent suffering. I've always rooted for him and Belly, but we can't deny the pain he caused. He was a master of the emotional shutdown, breaking Belly's heart at prom after she had waited and hoped for so long. She was grieving Susanna, too, and desperately needed him, but he couldn't let her in. That doesn't make him evil, it makes him a lost boy drowning in a grief too heavy to carry alone. The beauty of the final season was watching him heal. It depicted the agonizing weight of regret, that feeling that sits in your chest when you've hurt someone you love, a constant, heavy ache. Conrad didn't just miss Belly, he was haunted by the knowledge that he was the one who pushed her away. But he didn't stay broken. We watched him finally learn to speak his truth, to apologize without ego, and to take accountability for his actions. That's not just a character arc, that's a raw, realistic portrait of what it means to heal. This show was never written to be a fairy tale. It was written to be a mirror. The reason we get so fired up, so angry, so invested, is because we see ourselves in their flaws. We remember the sting of being 16 and confused, 19 and heartbroken, 23 and still figuring it all out. So, before we label Belly a villain, Conrad a monster, or Jeremiah a manipulator, maybe we should take a deep breath. Let's try to replace some of that judgment with a little empathy and remember what it felt like to be young, scared, and just trying to find our way. Because in the end, that's all any of them were ever doing.